Hey everyone, welcome back to another Tuesday Newsday. I'm Alternis. I'm the Community and Marketing Director for Catalyst Game Labs, and I've got a super duper special guest today. The reason all of us here at Catalyst are here, Loren Coleman.
Hello.
Good to have you back on. We're going to talk about just, the state of Catalyst, the industry, tariffs, price changes, all of that good stuff right after we get to the news here. But I thought it would be a great and relevant time to bring you on to kind of talk about all the everything that's happened in the past 6 months to a year.
Well, it's been really quiet. Hardly anything's happened in the past few months.
We're writing like a press release every other week.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's good stuff, but some of it is
Yeah. Okay.
Well, what we've got for you guys in terms of news for this week, our events, UK Games Expo is this weekend. There are still Leviathan's tickets available, and you can go check out all of the events at their website. But stop on by, visit our demo team, and say hello. We unfortunately weren't able to get a booth there this year, but we love our UK Games Expo, and go say hi to everyone and tell them we miss them. Origins is coming up next month. Gosh, it's less than a month away. We will have a booth there. We will have all of your favorite events for BattleTech, Shadowrun, board games, Leviathans, all at Origins. And for those that don't know, I believe it's the Ennies. We were nominated for an Ennie for I think it was beginner box for BattleTech, or it was a game of Armor Combat. I'm blanking. But check us out, because BattleTech is nominated for an Ennie. So what we've got for coming up, May again was our releases were Innersphere Pursuit Lance, Legendary Mech Warriors 3, and then the Salvage box for Mercenaries Legends 2 and 3 is coming. We had to break down some of those display boxes, so that's in progress. We've got a work order for that. What else do we have? So next month, June 11th, is our next release date. So we're going to have the 3rd Star League Strike Team Force Pack. Finally, the Black Remnant Command Lance is already available on our web store, but it is going to be available at retail. The Inner Sphere Assault Lance Force Pack and the Battlefield Support Heavy Battle and Sweep Lances. And finally, we have 2 Lorens in here now. This is going to be so fun. And then oh, cool. Okay. Well, anyway, my tech's talking to me in the background in case you guys can't hear. But and then we've got finally for June 11th the Battle Mat Legendary Battles Twycross for June. July, we are looking at finally the release for McCarran's Armored Cavalry Assault Lance. It is going to finally be past its 6 months exclusivity with Barnes & Noble, so that will be available for release. Battle Mat Legendary Battles Thunder Rift and Misery. And then the 3rd Star League Battle Group Force Pack and Battlefield Support Emplacements will all be available in July. As of now, assuming everything arrives and does its thing as it's supposed to, that's where we are. We were on tech for like 20 minutes and we're fine. And now Lauren's having problems.
That
so
is actually wild.
Can they hear you, Tyler?
Now they can.
Oh, okay. All right. Now they can. All right. So at least I have someone to talk to here while we sit. So that is the next 3 months. We were getting like way out ahead, like 6 months out of releases of what was coming, but because of tariffs, and we had to hold up shipping and manufacturing and all that because we didn't know what was going to happen, and we still really don't. We're kind of slowing down what was planned to come out for the second half of this year until we know where things are and when things can ship. So those are our BattleTech releases. Now for Shadowrun, we've got What is next? It is May. So May 14th just had margin calls. We have next source book is going to be July for risks and rewards. And then we do have the 2 ebooks. We do 2 free ebooks a month for BattleTech and Shadowrun. Slappy's Day Out is the Shadowrun one, and I can't remember the name of the BattleTech one, so I'm going to go pull that up real quick for you guys. Store.catalystgamelabs.com. Shop all. Boop. And let's see what we've got.
It refuses to swap for me. So Rim, you are now Loren. Loren, you are now Rim.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that.
I am back, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry
Okay.
for anyone getting dizzy. I do apologize.
It made me go and update my Zoom thing before it would let me back in.
Apparent Catastrophe is the
The title update.
title of or no, that's the $3.99. Maybe that one's not the available one. Augment is available. There's Deadly Arts. The website might have updated for the new month this week. So but check out that free fiction. Check out Augment. Issue 2 is now available, and then we also have the Shadowrun missions. 2081 session 4 is now available as well. So if you're looking for Shadowrun missions to run, that's only $6, and you can get your mission at your table. All right. So that is Shadowrun. Back to the release schedule. We've got some stuff for board games coming up. We've been releasing the Runefire development blogs on our site every 2 weeks or so. There's a new one, I think, going up this week. So if you want to follow along, this is Randall and Bryn. Some are going to be written from the folks at Paizo to talk about the whole process of building out Runefire and game development and combining Catalyst and Paizo and that work that's being done. So lots of good stuff there. And then the other thing for Origins is that Quincy of Quincy's Tavern is going to be there. So stop by the booth, meet him. I think we might have a game there in time. Is that true, Loren? Do you remember?
They're looking at having something there. I'm not going to say what it is because it may not make it.
Cool. Okay.
We're working on it. Quincy's been a recent partnership, and we've got several products we're working on together. There will be something there at the booth. What if there's a game product? I'm not sure. That's the one we're trying to get done in time.
Cool. And then let me see if I missed anything in the chat here that they're going to feed me. So Augment issue 2, Lone Wolf and Fox by Brian Young is available now. Leviathans, the Geister Wolf Protocol by Mike Ritchie launches this Friday. And then Shrapnel number 21 launches on June 13th. So that's available for pre-order now. There's Slappy's Day Out. And then, the other free one, I know why I couldn't find it. It's the Objective Raid by Russell Zimmerman. So that is available for free through the end of May as well. And then Devlog for the week is out. This is by Christian Frosig, who also is working with Randall and Bryn on Runefire. So let me drop that link in the chat to you guys. Boop. All right. And I think that's all the big news for right now.
I wasn't here for it, so I'm just assuming you got it all.
Let's test this. Every time I tried to tell you that we were nominated for an Ennie for BattleTech, you would freeze and go away. So we think it's the Ennies that are cursed.
Yeah, that's about right.
All right. Well,
I like the Ennies. It's a fun little award. It's a fun little show. We often have a good time there.
Cool. Well, guys, in the meantime, while Loren and I get started on chatting, drop any questions that you have in the chat. tag Lorcan or Dave, our lovely moderators, so that they can filter some questions to us. And I like some of the comments about you freezing up. We've got Turbo Turtle. Craig Reed says, keep moving, Loren, so we know it's you and not a picture. Big Red is here, says one day Loren will not freeze. Some people are getting dizzy. So anyway.
Yeah, that was really weird. I mean, I literally, it kicked, I twice I froze out and had to come back in. And then the third time it wouldn't let me back till I literally did a Zoom update, and now it's working great. So I think Zoom just didn't like the fact I hadn't updated it in a while.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know. All right. So let's talk about things. So you have recently kind of been doing some writing for us. We talked about price changes and we talked about tariffs and the effect on the industry and how they work. And you got a lot of feedback that it was a good like 101 if you didn't know how tariffs were impacting the industry. It was a good thing to read. If one of our lovely mods wouldn't mind dropping that in chat, that'd be wonderful.
Well, I saw a lot of good articles out there and written by very smart people. And the only thing I had a problem with was that everyone assumes that people reading the articles know what a tariff is and how and why it's actually important to us. And no one was doing the math to show people here's why, here's how they work, here's why, here's what it causes us. We all jumped to the end, and a lot of people went, but you're not doing it right then. If you're not eating the tariffs, if you're not doing it right. I literally have been told if we're paying for the tariff, we're not doing it right. That seriously was a serious comment. Someone else said, obviously told me I don't understand how business works. So I wrote that article like, look, guys, from step one, here it is. Just please, let's all get educated. I'm still working on getting educated about tariffs. So a lot I still don't know, but I know enough to know that they are dangerous and they can end companies, and they have already.
Yeah. What is a peek behind the curtain is in the past 6 months almost now, a lot of your time, I don't know anyone else's time in the company, has gone to researching like, what can we do? What are the solutions? How do we stop, go, work around? Like, so how do you go about, or how did you approach, what was your experience with trying to figure out a way to make this work?
Yeah. The problem is there's no predicting what's going to happen tomorrow. Usually tariffs are well announced, they're well researched, they're reasoned. You see it, you're told they're coming so you can make plans. When they're here, they're usually here for a length of time. Tariffs are a legitimate way to legitimately manipulate our economy in a positive fashion. We always hope in a positive fashion. That's not what we have right now. It is wildly all over the map. I believe my article called it capricious, which is a reasonable term. It just simply means unpredictable, wild and unpredictable, which is what it's been. So while there was no forming a plan ahead of time, Catalyst was built over the last 17 years to be ready to handle crises that show up like COVID, like unpredictable tariffs. We're a strongly built company. We have plenty of room to maneuver, and we're very careful. When we think there's going to be a problem, we have a tendency to slow things down so we don't get caught completely unaware or with at issue. That almost worked for us this time, because when they announced that tariffs were coming, we only had at that point about 40 days, 45 days. I'm a little hazy on that number, but we had till March 9th, I believe it was. Long other product in by March 9th, we were clear, we were covered. I had something like 8 containers moving from China at that moment, and they were all supposed to be in at the end of February or the first week of March. Every one of them was scheduled to be here. And then the world went crazy and panicked, and a lot of ships, I believe, paid their way to the front of the line at certain harbors and ports. And suddenly the ships I was on, all my containers were getting port delays. Delays going into ports, delays coming out of ports. And what should have been a very reasonable time to ship my product became a crazy time. My first container didn't arrive until I believe like March 15th. Some of them didn't arrive until late March, early April. I think I'm getting those dates right. But anyway, regardless, all of my containers came in after tariffs were in effect. So suddenly we had a $240,000 tariff bill.
And a lot of that
we shouldn't have had.
My understanding was a lot of that was getting Leviathans here for fulfillment, correct?
Leviathans was a big chunk of that. I would say about a third of it was Leviathans. And again, we saw, I mean, we didn't have a lot of time to react to it, and we thought we would be okay, but you know, that's shipping and that's worldwide shipping for you. I don't control it. You can't push a freighter to go any faster than they go, and the port master makes the calls of who gets first in line privileges. So we got caught and hammered pretty good, and there was nothing I could have done. There was no way to do it faster. This was all stuff that was coming out right before Chinese New Year, being produced right before Chinese New Year shut down China, and we were getting it out the door and shipped here as fast as possible. We just missed the perfect dates for it, and then things have been wildly all over the market since then. We then slowed all of our we slowed all of our production down a bit. We kept producing stuff in China, but I told them, go ahead and slow it down because we won't be shipping until after this 145 nonsense goes away. That would have been product, that would have killed every product we were making at that point. And so we just kept making product slowly, building it up. And now with tariffs relaxed to a painful but somewhat reasonable level, we are now moving stuff again from China, hoping to get it in while it's still at a workable number.
Is that a fear at this point? Like, did you have stuff in manufacturing ready to ship to get here within that 90 days, or is there any concern that it's going to hit port late again because of the congestion?
We had product ready to ship. It is still a fear because even though they said, "Oh, we're going to relax for 90 days," that's what they say. That doesn't mean that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They can still change it tomorrow, even though it's only been, I'm not sure what's been at this point, 15, 20 days, but if that. But yeah, they could change it tomorrow. They don't have to wait 90 days. They can send it skyrocketing back up.
So with that $240,000 of extra costs, there was a lot of fear, and there still is a lot of fear in the industry about like the price of our games going up. And so you just announced price changes, and I think surprising a lot of people, it was only $5 increase to box sets, $5 increase to force packs, no increase to books, and $1 to salvage boxes. So how did you come to that, and how long is it going to take us to make back the $250,000 that we lost?
A couple of years. So Catalyst has always run off of we have good margins and a strong plan. We don't charge as much for our games as I know other companies would. I would have been told by other publishers, like that they've been there's one, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's been teasing me for 10 years that if he had BattleTech, he'd be selling at $75 for a core box set. And because that's what, and if you look at the products he sells, he puts about a $10 premium on every box that he puts into the market. And he gets it. And that is a business decision. But we've been doing something different. We wanted to focus on returning BattleTech to a game, the miniatures game, the BattleTech, the Mecha miniatures game everyone plays, or everyone has played. We were trying to bring back lapsed fans from like the FASA days, trying to introduce the game to new fans that have never played before. We intentionally kept the game as cheap as possible while still having enough margin to deal with a crisis like the tariff issue or a new COVID issue, whatever it could be. That was just built in. So yeah, it was just it was when we got around to like we have to raise prices, we came out the same way. What is the minimum we need to raise that keeps us safely in business and doesn't punish the players for what the current administration is trying to accomplish? And we are eating, by doing that, we are eating some of the tariffs. That is not something that most companies probably are going to do, or at least not long term.
Or they can do even.
Yeah, I mean, or can do. I mean, there's just you build your product cycle a certain way, and when tariffs raise by usually by every point your cost goes up, your cost of your MSRP is going to go up. It's just the way it works. Businesses are not in business to be charities or to lose money for the privilege of providing a service or product. Catalyst has been around for 17, 18 years. We've had our struggles, we've had our ups and downs, but mostly we've had a very strong path forward. We're going to continue that. But again, my plan is to make sure our fans don't get punished for something that's out of their control and out of our control. So what can I control? I can control how much margin I'm willing to reduce in order to cover some of the tariffs. I can control what I set my new prices at to try to be reasonable. And I can also control not raising prices across the board for as long as possible in order to do that. BattleTech is getting hit pretty hard with tariffs because of the miniatures aspect. Books are not getting hit as hard at the moment, which is why we kept our books for both BattleTech, Shadowrun, Leviathans, whatever else I missed in there, Frostpunk. I mean, any kind of book product we're doing, prices did go up, our costs did go up, but our MSRP is going to stay the same for the near future. Because it just wasn't enough to justify an across the board move. BattleTech, because of the miniatures cost, there was no way around it. The fact is we didn't raise prices on all of our miniatures product yet. Only the ones that have been currently affected or about to be affected due to shipping and the reprint status. But yeah, we want to keep it calm. We want to keep things calm. We don't need a panic. We don't need people up in arms. It's like, hey, here's what's going on. We want to give information to our customers. Say, here's what's going on. Here's why we're doing it. Here's how we're doing it. And if we're measured and reasonable, we believe the market will stay calm and we will keep a good place out there in as market presence, and we will ride this out.
I do appreciate that, as the news has hit us in the industry, like there's some people that respond right away and have the spell slots to do so, which I give them a lot of credit for. But I did personally appreciate that, like, you, Catalyst, took your time to let's do the homework, let's do the research, let's come up with a plan, and then we'll talk about it, rather than kind of getting something out there and then having to come up with this didn't work, now that didn't work, now that didn't work.
Making decisions in haste is where you can get yourself in trouble. Yes, you may limit the damage being done by a few extra days, but you can also take it too far and then get caught in a bad space when things shift again.
How do you prioritize? Like, I'm sure like all of the thoughts and all of the suggestions and all of the ideas of ways to try to make this work are out there. How do you prioritize, like, all right, here's all of the options. If we spend a lot of time researching and coming up with a plan from this, and then tariffs change again, then we lost that time and it was a waste of time and stuff like that. So how do you prioritize, like, gosh, here's all the research, here's what options are available, and these are the ones we're going to pursue?
I wish there was an easy answer for that. The answer is I don't prioritize it. I'm always trying to learn as we go. Um, I learned a lot about tariffs in the last 4 years because there was a few changes happening between books and games in the last 4 years. So I was already learning things about it. And I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to I'm always trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Are they going to go up? They're going to go down. What's inflation doing? What's cost of paper and plastic going over in China? I'm always paying attention to everything, almost all at once going forward. And so when something happens, I already have a baseline of information I can use to simply go, okay, here's where I think things are going on. Take a step back. Always, my first thing is always take a step back, breathe, figure out where we are. Now, I may stomp around a little bit and swear a little bit behind the scenes when it happens because I'm like, oh, come on, really? This is like not what I wanted. But I don't make decisions based on that. I don't go online and quickly say, everyone sucks. It's all going to hell.
My favorite is when I get a call from Loren and I answer and his screen comes on and it's just him holding his head in his hands. And then he looks up at me. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah. Well, so no, I just try to, I always know, it's always better to rant in private and then get it out of your system and then look at it again. It's almost never as bad as it seems. It could be painful, but almost never as bad as it seems at first. Now, when tariffs went to 145%, that was it was just a temper tantrum. It was never a realistic number. It was never. There was no way that was going to hold. Our economy would not simply function. It would be impossible. It was just a punishment. It seemed like it was supposed to be a punishment of China. It's actually punishing American businesses for doing business in China, I guess. But it was painful. But we just said, okay, this isn't going to last. Let's just stop. Let's wait. I think almost any company, I know a couple of companies use tariffs as a scapegoat. They might say, oh, because of tariffs, we're now out of business. Or because of tariffs, we're now going to do this. I'm like, tariffs just changed. This doesn't affect you for at least the next 3 to 6 months while you're making new product and bringing it in, or bringing in a product that was just barely made. I'm like, tariffs are not instantly affecting usually. You've got to get caught, as we did, just slightly behind the curve, and you roll with it from there. But that said, you do look ahead going, okay, 54% tariffs. That was painful. No way to do it without raising prices. We knew that, period. We did the math. I did the math in a day going, okay, 54% raise on tariffs means I'll probably get this number wrong. I'm going to try it again. About a 42% raise in MSRP. I think I got that right. Pretty close. Roughly a 20% tariff is a 9%. A 20% tariff is a 9% raise in MSRP. So I got that wrong. So it's about a 50% is about a 17 to 22% raise in price. So it's just the way the math works out. That lets you hold your net income. Your margin, your profit margin goes down, your net income stays the same, and you can ride out the storm with that kind of strategy. It won't work for long, it won't work for years, but it'll work for months while you're figuring things out. The minute it went to 154, okay, this isn't real. This is a fake number. This will last for, they'll be there for like 30 days, maybe 2 months, and then it'll go to something approachable, which is what it did. Went back down to where are we at right now? 30%, I think.
30, yeah.
In 90 days, will it go up or go down? I'm already planning for it to go up again, in which case we will probably stop shipping again. I think it will go up, then I think it will come down to a lower number. This is just me guessing due to just looking at the politics, looking at the timing of the calendar. No one wants a bad Christmas season. For the government, for the economy, no one wants that. It's just bad. It's a bad optic. So I think it'll spike. It'll come back down. We'll get through the holidays, and then we'll be dealing with next year's problem. So that's my plan is to look at that. Now, I may be wrong. And if I am, we will have contingency plans to adjust from there.
Okay. So with this whole state between China manufacturing and the US, has there been, I know for ages now we've been looking at opening international warehousing and increasing our sales presence there and stuff. Is there more urgency toward that? And what is in process?
I wouldn't say there's more urgency for international warehousing. I mean, for international sales for us. What it means is we can't be wrong about shipping stuff to the United States, then shipping it back out for another part of the world. We have to have a plan, not just to have a nexus in the UK, the EU, Australia, Canada, whoever else I missed out there that's a big BattleTech part of our BattleTech and Shadowrun fandom. We all board game fandom. We also need to make sure we get stuff directly there from China. Or if we make it in the States, we print stuff in the States occasionally, like a lot of our some of our swag stuff and a few other products. And so we need to make sure it gets there from the direct source. We can't be wrong, like, oh, we'll mail it here, then we'll ship it here, then we'll ship it over. It's like that doesn't work. With tariffs, it just gets so complicated and painful. So we need to clean up the process as we establish a nexus in these places. We need to just clean up the process and make sure we are supporting them as best we can, and then we'll be fine. So no, it doesn't really change the need to do it or how we're going to do it. It just means we need to clean up a little bit better and make sure it happens in a nice, orderly fashion.
As we're cleaning up these processes for international, do we have agreements in place or close to in place for these different areas of the world?
We have one that's pretty much in place right now with Let's Play Games over in Australia. We worked with them in the past. We think they are going to be a good source of daily store sales and fulfillment going forward. We're working with a couple other places in the UK and the EU. We don't have names yet that we can. Well, we do have names. We can't say the names yet because those deals, there's no handshake or ink involved yet. But there will be, I think, very soon. Mostly, we're just waiting to finish up. We're waiting for the final Mercs cleanup stuff to happen for the Mercs campaign. And then as we get Leviathans rolling out internationally, we'll be working on our permanent nexus for the store as well.
Great.
So yes, it's everything. I mean, things proceed slowly, but that's why I don't get caught with in a really bad situation. We don't just jump. And much as I like to say our motto is ready, fire, aim, I do at least get ready first to know enough that I'm not going to get myself in trouble.
Okay. So with, I guess, back to consequences of tariffs, I know that, getting to look at the release schedule every week, there was tons and tons and tons planned for the second half of the year, including Aces and Gothic and some of that stuff. So what has Tariffs done, and what will it continue to do for our timeline and production moving forward?
Well, Gothic got delayed, but only by a few weeks. We announced Gothic was already being produced when we announced it at Adepticon, and it was we figured it would be sitting there for a couple months while we're waiting for Tariffs to move again. Tariffs moved sooner than we thought, so Gothic is now shipping.
Oh yay!
It'll be here. Yeah, Gothic is already on the water. It'll be here in a few weeks ish, and we're working that out right now.
It's slated for an August release for us, so.
And it should still make. It's actually, I think, we're slated for
Gen Con first, and then...
yeah, but we thought we'd have it out in time for July. But my guess is we could still do that. We'll probably hold it for Gen Con. But it's nice that it was only delayed by a few weeks. We were okay. Aces is in production. The first box for us, Aces Scouring Sands, is in production. And it may ship if we're too close to that 90-day proclamation. I may wait to see what happens. It may get delayed in transit. That's we can't make that call till we're a little closer to the ship date.
Cool.
But right now we're moving forward as if it's going to move and everything's gonna be okay.
And then what about other products? Like we had more force packs, we had more books, we had what is that doing to our timeline and plan for the year?
Right now, we're producing everything on our regular schedule. We slowed down for a minute, during the 145 nonsense, but right now we're back to full schedules of production, and potentially shipping. Shipping schedule may adjust as tariffs adjust. We will see. At the moment, I don't see us slowing down production for the near future. So if shipping slows, then shipping will slow, then we'll slow production, not the other way around.
Okay.
As long as we think we can move product in a timely and cost-effective manner, we'll just keep our production schedule on track.
Okay.
So the whole idea is we want to maintain our position in the market. We don't want to see the BattleTech space suddenly becoming, being filled by someone else's product. So we've made plenty of supporting product, force packs, box sets. Our reprints are great. We're reprinting a lot of salvage boxes right now because salvage boxes keep selling out. We're keeping all that moving forward on a full schedule.
I have to give the community credit because when I started with Catalyst and Mercenaries was on, and people were like, salvage boxes need to be in stock. Whatever you ordered for Mercenaries, quadruple it. And I was like, I'll pass the feedback on. And everyone's like, yep, we have enough. We have enough. We have enough. And we don't.
We quadrupled, not kidding. We quadrupled the order of salvage boxes and they sold out again. People love salvage boxes. I love salvage boxes, but it's just been amazing how a product that we didn't even plan, that was the salvage box was originally a balancing product we made for the clan invasion campaign. It was never meant to be a long-term market item, and it's become one of our best-selling market items we have. It's just awesome. Our fans said, these are great, keep making them. We're like, all right, you got it. So
now
love those.
A question I know we've been getting a lot too is because of, even if we only temporarily had to slow production for a bit and then get things moving again, what is this doing to cash flow and convention appearances, and should we expect less than we've seen in the past?
A little bit. We put a few conventions on hiatus this year just because of between that and the alliance stuff going on. It did affect cash flow. It did affect our reserves. So we have dropped a couple conventions or scaled back our appearance at a few conventions to something more reasonable for our current situation. It's also cost us some. We've scaled back a few other things too along the way. Things that people won't probably see from the outside, but just that we're battening down the hatches and ride out the storm. That really is the plan. What will it cost us long term? It'll cost us, right now, in the course of this year, we'll probably end up doing a couple, like 2 fewer products than we would have long term over 3 years. 5 to 10 fewer products that we might have. All depends what happens next year. If we can scale back up and put the step back on the gas and power forward. We'll still be at Origins. We'll still be at Gen Con. We still went to Adepticon with we had a great Adepticon presence. We are not going to be at UK Games Expo this coming weekend. We're very sad about that because it's a great show. But international shows are the most expensive for the fans that we get to touch to deal with.
Do you think we'll do Essen and Essen? What are the ones? Essen, Gamescom Canada, and PAX Aus?
Essen and PAX Australia. I'm not sure as much we do in Canada for a show at the moment this year. Nothing that was planned anyway.
Okay.
I don't think we'll do anything at San Diego Comic-Con. I think we will have some presence, someone at Essen and possibly PAX Australia. We may not have a large booth presence, but we'll do something, I'm sure, to keep our fans there informed and be able to do some stuff for them as best we can. Like the international shows are the hardest ones.
Yeah.
Origins, no problem. Gen Con, no problem. PAX Unplugged, I don't see a problem. Those are the three big domestic game conventions for the rest of the year that I can think of. I don't think I missed one. And then from there on, other than those, we'll adjust as needed.
Okay.
So,
you touched on this, so it's fair game for me now. Can you summarize, for those who don't know, what's going on with Alliance, and then if you have anything to share about our involvement?
I don't have much to say about that. Alliance, I mean, it's public knowledge that Alliance, Diamond Comics and Games and all that, a lot of businesses there, went through a declared bankruptcy, went through a sale, have sold a big chunk of the Diamond and Alliance different parts of the businesses to Ad Populum and Universal. This is all, you can look it up on ICV2 or Polygon. It's all out there. So it's just news. To my knowledge, what that means is once everything is complete, Alliance will start making good on a lot of the debt it owes for product we sold it back in like November, December of last year. We trust they are doing the best they can to get back on their feet, and they're still moving forward. I mean, they're still delivering product. Just the vendors who kind of got caught up in this are waiting to be made whole moving forward. I believe they're doing their best. I believe they will. I hope and believe they will catch us back up here in the very near future, and that would be great. So that way, that just takes the least. It creates the least disruption possible, over time. When will that happen? I do not know. Again, I know they're doing the best they can with there are certain legal steps they must take. It takes time, and so all I can say is I wish the best for my friends over at Alliance, and I look forward to working with them. I'm still selling them product. I just look forward to solving this issue and moving forward with that.
Okay. Well, with that, we have 15 minutes left, and I've seen chat scrolling by, so I think we have quite a few questions that I want to make time for here. So let me pull up my my list from my wonderful moderators.
What have we got?
All right. So Phoenix Risen asks, are there any planned products that you had to scrap due to tariffs?
No, he said hesitantly. Nothing we scrapped, just some things that got delayed, to my knowledge. I'm going through my head going, no, not. I mean, there's things that got pushed.
I can't think of anything
for a month, but nothing got scrapped.
Yeah. Turbo Turtle asks, there has been some discussion that some gaming products are not covered by tariffs. Has CGL looked into doing those products?
I've looked. I mean, I'm always looking into what's going on with the tariffs and classifications. I've heard this a few times, and there was a really bad misinformation article put out there. I'm not going to name names, but it was saying if you just learn your categories, you won't pay tariffs. It was so not true. We work with the Customs and Border agencies. We work with our shipping companies. We're always paying attention to, are we classifying things right? Is there a better way to do it? Books didn't get hit as hard because books are exempt from certain tariffs, but not all of them. So books never got up to 145. I think they peaked at 54, but we are paying attention.
Okay.
Games were never exempted from tariffs. That, to my knowledge, any major professional I dealt with, no. So that was a minute.
Awesome. Turbo Turtle also asks, there have been a number of reports of entire industries in China being gutted by the tariffs. How is Leah International holding up under the circumstances? I know
Chris, near as I can tell, Leah's doing great.
Chris Fry is in chat, so Chris, I'll let
Hi,
you
Chris.
answer that.
They're Leah is doing they're going. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna give Chris a heart attack. As near as I can tell, Leah's doing fine. They've been responsive for us. They're staying busy. To my knowledge, they've been working with us hand in hand since this craziness started. I am very happy with them, and I think there's not having an issue. Who is struggling in China? I have no idea. There's been rumors, but everyone I know and talk to are doing just fine. They, like us, they slowed down, they took a breath, and if they suddenly had business issues, I'm guessing they had those issues before, and tariffs make a convenient excuse, or it was the last nail in their coffin, but they were already on their deathbed. To my knowledge, the good companies that were out there, the good manufacturers, are still there doing a good job.
Good. Question from Nokurian about Shadowrun Takedown. How will it be handled with the current tariffs since the product has been paid for already? I love our answer to this.
Same way as Leviathans. We are not going to punish our backers for this, political decision. And I'm trying not to be too political here. This is politics. If anyone thinks it's not politics, they're not paying attention. This is politics. And it doesn't really matter that it is. We just have to deal with what's in front of us, which is there's now a tax on our product. We will figure out how to make it work. What we won't do is punish our current backers who, in good faith, backed our campaigns and are expecting their product. We will figure out how to deal with those costs. That's the reason why our prices went up a certain amount, because even though we got caught with, for $240,000 worth of tariffs, we're not trying to make that back on our backers who've already paid for their rewards. We will raise our prices in the marketplace afterwards to adjust to try to recoup that money to reach a pre-tariff parity over a couple of years.
Right.
But yeah, same thing for Leviathans, for Takedown, for Frostpunk, anything else I forgot in that category. Tariffs will not be an issue. I should say at this time, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
But that is our goal, and that is how we're treating it across the board.
There is a blog post that you did as well a couple of a month or two ago before you did the tariff one that said that we as much as we can possibly, we are not going to charge our backers for tariffs. You'll still be charged shipping when the time comes for takedown, but prices will not raise until it hits retail.
Now, in future campaigns, you might see, because we need to future-proof ourselves for business purposes, you may see a tariff statement saying prices are allowed to adjust within reason to accommodate, things we don't know, like tariffs. If suddenly they go up to 80%, we'll have to figure out something. But we will tell you ahead of time. This is something we will all have to be aware of. Now, again, Catalyst will work very hard to make sure our backers will be as the least penalized possible. But if we are concerned that there may be a number we can't reach, we'll tell you, and you can make that as part of your determination for backing us. At this moment, we are completely covering tariffs.
Cool.
So to me, that's the best answer we could give our backers, and we appreciate your support. You guys have been great.
And while there's decisions like that I appreciate so much from you, Loren, I also very much appreciate when I have you on the show and people ask this question.
Uh-oh.
Den of Wolves win.
Den of Wolves is such a cursed product. I'm enjoying the story. We're doing a great job. I just wrote 2 more chapters about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. I was back and writing it again, and then tariffs happened, and my entire brain shut down. The creative side of my brain shut down, and I scurried over here to work on admin stuff again. It is in fits and starts, climbing its way to the end. I think I need to write 3 to 5 more chapters, and Mike Stackwell needs to write 5 to 6 more chapters, and we're done with the first book. So all I need is really just to be able to take a breath, which means catching up on. I'm about a week behind or so. I'd say right now I'm about a week or 2 behind where I want to be with regards to admin stuff. And if I can catch that up by this weekend, I hope to write a chapter this weekend while I'm taking it easy for the first time in a while.
So you can follow up on the status of that by emailing Loren at catalystgamelabs.com. Don't worry, he doesn't check his email anyway.
No. Den of Wolves, I'm excited. I can see the finish line now, finally. We're getting there.
Cool. Question, just for me to clarify, Chris Merwin asked, any news on whether the third Star League Force Packs will be B&N exclusive? I did mention a couple weeks ago that on the release schedule it was a maybe, but that does not look like it's going to be the case.
I think we looked at that with regards to when we had to make some slowdowns. We had to look at what we could, because we had promised Barnes & Noble a Force Pack to go into their fall or winter set. I'm not sure what they call that anymore. They would get like a 6-month release window that they get that for a 6-month window before it goes to the rest of the market.
Cool.
We've done the same thing with Alliance. We did the same thing with I believe ACD. They've all had at one point or other, at least one, if not more, exclusive windows to sell a particular Force Pack. Third Star League was, I think, looked at, but we never actually made that move. We were able to get another product in its place, and we're all good. I think they're getting, I want to say the next one they're getting is the 21st Centauri Lancers, which is one they were supposed to get. Mm-hmm. And the third Star League Force Pack will release and its regular channels.
Cool. Yeah. This next question.
Thanks for asking that one, because I'm not sure where that confusion started, but no, it's going to be full market.
Question for you that I'm going to need your help with, actually. Any updates on the restock for things like Hinterlands? I did see that it has arrived. We have 4,000 copies at the warehouse. So we need to get that released on our web store.
Yeah, it was held up, I think, a week or 2 while we were waiting for tariffs to clear, but it moved, and I believe, like I said, I knew it was on the water. I didn't know it arrived. That's good news.
That's the one that sold out in a week.
It'll be, if it's in the warehouse, it'll be in the market here. I would say it should be filtering through distribution in the stores. That'll take about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how close your store is to our warehouse. Wait. But if it's in the warehouse, it'll be moving quickly.
And when should it be on our store by?
It could be on our store tonight if we just tell them turn it on. If it's back in stock, it can be sold today.
Hinterlands. I'm sending Talon a message right
absolutely. Now. This isn't a new release product. It's back in stock. We're just lucky our store is really close to our warehouse. In fact, it's the same thing. So yeah.
Awesome.
You'll see Hinterlands on the website. I'm just saying, no reason it can't be there today.
Kalos's gaming table asks every single week, and so I was like, I have Loren on today. I'll make it happen.
There'll probably be a few. If Hinterlands is in, I can't remember what was shipping with it, but there's probably 2 or 3 returning to stock items that will all be back on our store this week, if not today, and making it to your local game stores within the next, I would say, 10 to 20 days, roughly, to filter through and get there.
I love this question too. Anything new from Ironwind Metals?
What's
going on there, Loren? We made the
So,
announcement, but
anything like new information or new product, but I'll go ahead and answer both. There is no real new information. I mean, Catalyst purchased Ironman Metals. We Mike No has stepped back to be with family. He still comes in and consults with us to work with us on amazing product. We have a new person there who is basically working as the head of operations, and he's doing a great job. Most of the work they've been doing for the past 4 months or so while they've been working on this is getting things cleaned up, and not to interrupt and not, without interrupting current operations. Now, moving forward, we are working with distribution and as well with the people at Ironwind to create a new return to stores kind of package that Ironwind will hopefully put metals, a lot more metals back into your local game stores. We are also working with them on some new designs and ideas that I'm not going to say here because I'm not sure how far along they are, and I don't want James Red to call me and go, "What are you doing?" James Red is our new operations person over there who's doing a great job getting things cleaned up and moving forward again.
Cool.
So yeah, we're very excited. We love plastics. We love metals. There's room for both. They both have their best, their good stuff, their bad stuff. We will continue providing both for our fans.
Awesome. A last
These questions are easy. Come on.
Well, we have 2 minutes left. Question on Leviathan's fulfillment. I know that we got the North America shipment in earlier. We talked about with the tariffs. What about non-US? Is that stuff still in China? Is it heading to any hubs?
I don't know if it has left China. I know Talon was working on that right before we had to run to the licensing expo last week. I plan on following up with them that today, tomorrow. If it hasn't left China, my goal is to have it moving right away. If it's not already scheduled, it should be scheduled, and find out where it's going. And we have our hubs already picked out. We know where they're going, so we just got to keep it moving.
Okay.
So.
All right. And then maybe you talked about this last week at the licensing expo, but when will shipping start in North America for Leviathan? I know we've gotten some initial quotes back and forth, but do you have any info on that I don't?
I mean, honestly, I want to say any day now. I mean, I don't. There was like one or two small items that were missed that had to be brought over from our production in China, but they were like supporting on like some ship cards that got just delayed and we didn't see it, so they're sitting over by DHL. Other than that, I believe everything's been categorized and is ready to start fulfilling. So
shipping prices will need to be updated first for backers. Then
that
we'll
would
give
be
them a
work.
period.
And I saw, because I saw those shipping prices last week before I went to the expo. So
okay.
That's been done. So the next thing they should see will be a request for shipping price payments. If they haven't already gone out, they should be arriving any day.
Cool.
And as soon as enough of those have been made, we will start fulfilling.
Awesome.
Awesome. And we've actually looked at the shipping prices, look really good. So we're pretty happy with where that is.
Great.
We got a great deal with our this campaign's fulfillment warehouse is doing a great job to keep those prices down. So we're really excited to move that forward.
Awesome. All right. Well, that takes us to a minute past the hour. So thank you for all of that info. It was really interesting hearing your thoughts on tariffs and the state of Catalyst. That
was mostly painless. Thank you for taking it easy on me out there. As we do things like this, you will see us post an article, a report, or whatever, just to make sure you guys know what's going on. We're working very hard not to drop any surprises out there.
Unless they're good ones.
Yeah, good. Yeah, only good surprises, the ones you want. the like, you know.
Well, we can't say that because Gothic was a surprise and it's split on love and hate.
But the thing is, they're not getting that if they don't want it. Just if they don't want it, then they don't have to buy it. It's just those, but those, you know, I am fine with that. But in the meantime, we did something that's never. I mean, a 40-year-old property, and we managed to do something that's never been done before.
Neat.
That's just good news. Doesn't mean you have to love every single thing we do, but that means we can explore and experiment even more now. And who knows, the next crazy idea we have may be your thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Loren. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next week here on Tuesday. Have a good week, everyone.